بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. This is without shadow of doubt one of the most difficult days that we are experiencing. Not only are we experiencing it in Australia, and we stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in New Zealand, but this also raises a lot of issues and a lot of concerns. And for the sake of uniformity, with a statement that this organisation read before with some other media outlets, I thought I'd actually share the same statement. The Lebanese Muslim Association extends its heartfelt condolences to all who have been affected by the abhorrent and senseless act of terror that occurred today in New Zealand. We call upon our political leaders to call this attack on innocent civilians an act of terrorism. There is no doubt that this act is an act of terrorism. And if there is any thought that this could be anything else, then please check your statements that you have made previously with any other attack. And to condemn the ideology that inspires it. Such a deplorable act of terror has found its way to the shores of our closest neighbour, bringing out the destructive political views of white nationalism. As Australians, we need to take this threat seriously and urge the Australian government to take action in light of the continued rise of racially motivated and Islamophobic attacks. The manifesto written by the attackers clearly shows the attack were politically motivated. The attack used violence against civilians to pursue a political agenda and spread fear, hatred, and mistrust. This is a global cancer, transcends all boundaries of all religions and all nationalities, that needs to be stamped out before more senseless acts of violence and terror are perpetrated against defenseless civilians. It needs to be highlighted that the attack was committed at a time when the Muslim community gathers for their weekly Friday sermons, a time usually spent in prayers and reflection, and a place that is synonymous with peace and worship. Our condolences are with the Muslim victims who have paid the ultimate price whilst offering their prayers in a place of worship. But our condolences does not stop with those who paid the price today, but our condolences extend to all those who have paid the price from an act of terrorism. This heinous attack reflects the divisive political narrative on a global scale, and it needs to be addressed and taken as a serious, violent threat. We do not have responsibility to fix this. This is an issue rooted in white supremacy and must be seen as such. We have had enough divisive political narratives and actions. This is an act of terror that is targeted towards Muslims at a time of their prayers. We hope that the wrongful loss of their lives become a catalyst for positive change on many fronts, similar to what our scholars and our guests have mentioned, that at a time of darkness, our faith dictates us, least should you hate something, that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow some light from within. We need to begin to better understand the deep hate and prejudice being perpetrated globally, and its consequences and the role that our government and political leaders need to play to bring about a safer community for all. We will not allow these attacks to intimidate us. We will continue to attend our place of worships and invite all who wish to find comfort after this tragedy to join us in prayers. And for this, even next weekend, we have a national mosque open day. We are not going to close the doors of our mosques, and we will continue to perform our daily routines and our daily prayers. Because this is how we stand together in solidarity and front such ideologies and such narratives that exist in all communities. And today was a testimony of that. But it's sad to see that the life of so many innocent people had to pay. And we want to ensure with our political leaders that are here today with us, not only do they stand in solidarity with us, but today is not a day that we blame each other or we state who has to take more of a responsibility. But today is a day where we all get together as a nation to ensure that we build on what we call Australia, what we build on what we call New Zealand, that has demonstrated the strength of social cohesion and what it can do to a multicultural society. And you don't have to look far. Look at everyone inside this mosque from all different nationalities. And you don't have to look even further than that by just looking outside with people from all different religions that come together when they have the intentions in the right place. And we will not allow anyone from any religion, from any faith, from any group to dictate how we need to live our lives. Our mosques will be open. The churches will be open. And any place that the name of God is iterated will be open for the sake of humanity. We all know that the death of one innocent human is the death of humanity. And this is where we stand together, again in solidarity, to ensure that we act and we behave in the way that our scholars have just told us that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we will remember those who paid this price in our dua. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Jazakumullah khair.